want us to think stupid. So they want us to feel stupid.
Oh, but you got what you wanted. You don't even know my name. Remember, be good to the people on your way up the ladder, 'cause you need them on your way down. That's the way. The way.
You're just in time for KBC Lunchtime News on this 8th day of September 2021. Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Ben Troy Njue. Anwangeshi will be our sign language interpreter for this afternoon. Remember, we are live from the broadcasting house and also on all our social media platforms, so kindly engage us. Straight to the news, we begin with a security update where relative calm is returning to strife-torn regions of Laikipia County. Police spokesman Bruno Shiosa said illegal herders are leaving Laikipia Nature Conservancy following an ongoing operation by police. In a statement, she also said security patrols undertaken by a multi-agency security operation team have been intensified in the area to restore calm. This, however, he disputed media reports that a school in the area was torched by bandits, saying it was a store at Merigwiti Primary School containing wood and construction material that caught fire. He said the fire was put out by security officers patrolling the vicinity. Away from that, Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka claims the One Kenya Alliance movement will push for a citizen-centered revolution that will weed out corruption and bad governance. Speaking in Thinu in Kathiani constituency, Machakos County, Kalonzo said One Kenya Alliance is committed to building a new Kenya in which all citizens will have space to advance regardless of their background.
Wiper Party leader noted the One Kenya Alliance political formation has great potential to bring the much-needed change in the country.
True revolution is just about to happen. Revolutions normally begin in quiet places. And true powerful minds, when they speak, the country will listen.
Kalonzo reiterated that he is the right man to lead Kenya, adding that he understands Kenya's problems better than his competitors.
Nitaongea juu ya mapinduzi. Pindua akili yako. Hujua anayezungumza nawe ni mmoja wenu. Najua shida zote za Kenya hii. Kwani mimi nikiwa mtoto mchanga niliziona zote.
The former vice president further maintained that if elected, he will bring a positive impact to Kenyan schools by implementing free secondary school education.
Lakini kutoka form 1 mpaka form 4 hakuna mtoto wa Kenya ataulizwa kulipa karo.
He also promised better housing conditions in public universities countrywide.
Vyetu vikuu. Sasa hivi utaenda kwa vyuo na viko vingi, alafu upate kwamba watoto wanapikia kwa room, kwa vyumba. There's no decency in our public institutions, public universities. We'll have to introduce decency. Watu wajue kwamba kwa chuo kikuu unaenda kufanya kama mwanafunzi wa chuo kikuu.
Yusuf Hilo, Lunchtime News.
Health Principal Secretary Susan Mochache says registration under the universal healthcare coverage is on course, refuting claims that it is experiencing operational challenges. Mochache says the national government had allocated funds for the procurement of medicine, employment of medical personnel, and payment of medical insurance to ensure that vulnerable Kenyans in the program can access affordable health care.
Health Principal Secretary Susan Mochache was at Getembe Health Center in Kituchache South constituency in Kisii County for the launch of Universal Healthcare Coverage Registration Exercise. Mochache expressing optimism with the ongoing registration being conducted countrywide as part of President Uhuru Kenyatta's Big Four agenda to ensure access to affordable healthcare for all.
Hakikishe na anataka tuhakikishe kwamba wale ambao hawajiwezi wanapoenda hospitalini hakuna kuingiza mkono kwa mfuko kutoa hata shilingi moja. Ni kufika hospitalini kuweza kujitambulisha na kidole chako.
Mochache said all mechanisms have been put in place to ensure the exercise kicks off.
Hii shida tumekuwa ya kufanya ya michango kila mahali, uuze shamba, uuze ng'ombe, hiyo maneno sasa itaisha.
Kisii Governor James Ongwae, who was present, said that counties had signed an MOU with the national government to share half of the burden of the medical insurance for over 63,000 needy people in 2 phases, but raised concern over the disparities in the NHIF reimbursements across health facilities.
For us to be able to register these people and pay NHIF, because NHIF must also pay the hospitals and other facilities where our people will be going.
The government targets to register at least 10 million Kenyans under the UHC program.
And still on matters health, the government has been challenged to give priority to the tourism sector players in the mass COVID-19 vaccinations. Stakeholders in the sector say the move will create confidence among other players in the sector, including tourists.
Kilifi Governor Amason Kingi, together with Kilifi North Member of Parliament Owen Mbaya, said for the tourism sector to be revamped fully, the national government must ensure all the services providers involved are vaccinated against COVID-19.
Utalii umeathirika pakubwa, si Kilifi lakini pwani mzima.
Malindi na Watamu, na ukienda paka Mambrui, ukisongea huko mbele, uchumi wetu mkubwa ni mambo ya utalii. Utalii umefanya mtu wa hapa anaweza peleka mtoto shule.
Kingi, who was speaking during the launch of a mass vaccination drive in Malindi, said by giving priority to tourism players, the world will have confidence on the sector.
Confidence ya mtalii kuja, kuna vitu ambavyo lazima vifanyike, na vitu hivi ni chanjo peke yake.
The governor said he has already held talks with Tourism Cabinet Secretary Najib Balala and his health counterpart Mutai Kagwe on the issue. Mbaya said Egypt and Mauritius have been declared safe zones and Kenya must work hard.
Na tuliafikiana jana baada ya mazungumzo na waziri hao wawili kwamba wakati umefika tuwe na dedicated program yakisha kwamba wafanyikazi katika sekta hii ya kitalii pia nao tumeweka katika priority group.
KK Itumbi, Lunchtime News.
Now, an international children's charity that supports free cleft repair surgery is investing in boosting the capacity of cleft and reconstructive surgeons in sub-Saharan Africa. Smile Train, a cleft charity, has amplified its partnership with the College of Surgeons of East, Central and Southern Africa with the view of narrowing down the gap of people who lack access to safe and affordable surgical care, which stands at over 5 billion.
Smile Train has continuously supported the College of Surgeons of East, Central and Southern Africa training programs over the last 5 years. This investment is part of the organization's commitment to scaling cleft surgical education and training and comes against a backdrop of increased need for qualified surgeons in low and middle income countries. According to the 2015 Lancet Commission on Global Surgery, 143 million additional surgical procedures are needed in low and middle income countries each year to save lives and prevent disability, as every year an estimated 81 million people face catastrophic financial expenditure due to the costs associated with seeking surgical care. President of COSEXA, Godfrey Muguti, welcomed the partnership, noting Smile Train keen interest in empowering surgeons in the region is much needed as the COVID-19 pandemic has proven the need to have more robust surgical systems. Reporting for Lunchtime News, I'm Amboy Otiende.
Elsewhere, residents of Mwangaza area in Isiolo have asked Isiolo Governor Mohamed Kuti to make good his promise to establish a task force that will look into the numerous land disputes in the area. They, however, said the governor should not use this as a political tool as the country approaches the 2022 general election.
Kithinji and George Karethi, the residents lauded the announcement by Governor Kuti that he will soon establish a task force that will investigate and come up with recommendations on how to resolve the outstanding land issues in the county.
Mimi ni kumpongeza governor kwa hatua ambayo amechukua ya kukomesha mambo nyenye ambayo amekuwa kinyang'anya watu ardhi Mwangaza, na ninamshukuru sana kwa ile statement yake alitoa jana. Iwapo atenda na huo mkondo, najua suluhu ya Mwangaza itapatikana na suluhu ya Isiolo mzima itapatikana.
Residents noted that while the government has been issuing title deeds in various counties, Isiolo has been left behind due to unresolved disputes. They expressed optimism that the task force will address cases where wealthy individuals are seeking to evict poor people from their plots, especially in Mwangaza area.
Ningeomba county government isimamishe kutoa hati miliki za hiyo mashamba na hata serikali kuu katika mji wa Isiolo, mpaka kwanza raia wote wasikizane na county government na wasikizane na wenye kudai ardhi yao mabonyenye wanaodai ardhi ni yao, kwanza wasikizane.
Only 2 weeks ago, at least 20 households were left in the cold after a private developer demolished their homes. Caroline Kamar reporting for Lunchtime News.
Let's now focus on education matters, where the head teacher and board of management chairman of Urban Primary School in Embu have sparked a row with parents of the school for allegedly imposing illegal tuition levies. Agitated parents protested the move and urged the county government to intervene. The parents have also accused the institution head of contravening the Ministry of Health COVID-19 protocols.
The agitated parents caused drama at the school gate as they protested the move to block them from accessing a meeting they said they had been called to by the head teacher.
Last week kulikuwa na mkutano, tukaambiwa ni ya Monday. Wakati tunajiandaa kuja mkutano, tukaambiwa hakuna mkutano, itakuwa ya next week Tuesday. Mtoto akaambiwa ni saa 2. Na akakuja akasema, akatuambia mkutano ni ya saa 2. Sasa kufika hapa saa 1:30 tunaambiwa mkutano imeisha.
They further accused the school's chairman of disrespect in the presence of their children.
Chairman anatutukana mbele ya mtoto. Unakunja hapa na mtoto unaambiwa rundi, utakunja unaandapu, utakunja siku nyingine.
Tunaomba wazazi wapatiwe heshima yao na asiwaache kutusi watoto wazazi mbele ya wanafunzi.
Responding to their grievances, Isaiah Nakoru, the Eastern Region Coordinator, said investigations into the matter will be done.
Malalamiko kwamba kuna shule ambazo zinaruhusu mikutano iendelee ya parents wanakuja kwa shule. Hiyo pia tumekataa. Hatutaki mkutano wowote ambao unafanyika kwa shule. Kama wanataka kuongea watumie mtandao. Okay, kuna ile inaitwa virtual meetings. Wanaweza kufanya hiyo, lakini sio kuita watu. Na hiyo itakuwa ni kukaidi ile protocols ambayo imewekwa na Ministry of Health. Na mtu atawajibikia binafsi. Kama mwalimu ataenda kuita mkutano ambaye ambatani na protocols, huyo mwalimu ndiye atawajibikia kazi hiyo mbaya ambaye anafanya.
Moving on, a section of the business community and opinion leaders in Nakuru have warned that the current political temperatures are not healthy for the country and are a recipe for chaos. They have called on the political class to exercise tolerance ahead of next year's polls. They cited the current tension in Laikipia County, calling on security forces to fight off the bandits in the area and restore calm.
A Seka businessman says the current political temperatures are worrying, calling on top political leaders to stop polarizing the masses. He said self-interest among the leaders is destroying the hard-earned peace in the country, pointing out the need for all leaders to join hands and embrace peace.
Naomba msikrie tension kwa nchi kwa sababu ya uvinafsi ya utawala. We need peace in this country more than any other thing. I thought it ingekuwa rahisi kwa nchi viongozi hawa washikane mkono as a way of cohesing Kenyans. For the last 10 years, we have more than 10 years we have lived in peace. Lakini tension ya siasa ile inaendelea saa hii, ninaona inatia sisi wasiwasi sana kama wa Kenya, especially as ordinary citizen.
He said Kenyans are unsure if their businesses will survive uncertainties that accompany political tension.
For these 4 months, can you reduce temperature for Kenyans to enable Kenyans to even do small business? Because right now the economic is very low.
Another businessman, Benson Baresia, said the current political temperatures are affecting the government and the private sector, alike saying divergent views need to be embraced.
Allow everybody who has divergent opinion to air their views and opinion, but let us stick to COVID regulations because COVID is a reality.
At about 12 minutes past the hour, we are taking our first break. But when we come back, we still have business and also sports. But allow me to appreciate Maurice Warenga wa Muchacha from Kabras, Amon Kiprono, watching live from Kapsisiwa, Nandi County, Helen Mwamuye watching from Kilifi South, Desiteri, you're watching from Kakamega, Terrell To, you are watching from Tinderet in Nandi County. Let's have that breakfast.
Within the last 3 years since the National Liberation Council took charge of the government of Ghana, relations between our two countries considerably improved. I must say that this happy state of affairs has been largely due to the fatherly understanding of His Excellency President Jomo Kenyatta. We in Ghana feel that the distance separating us should not prevent us from taking concrete steps to strengthen our cooperation. We can go further to institute regular student exchange program. It may also be possible for Ghanaian students to take advantage of your excellent training facilities in agriculture and veterinary science. Kenya has acquired a tremendous experience in game and wildlife control and tourism, and these are fields in which we can profitably learn from you. We hope that the diplomatic representation between our two countries will also be strengthened.
To get control your thinking as your skiza tune, dial star 811 star 961 hash.
Did you know that you have complete control over everything that surrounds you? Yes, fully control over all that comes out of the seas, the earth, and the universe. That control is your thinking. Good thoughts bear good fruits, but bad thoughts will always bear bad fruits. Control your thinking.
To get control your thinking as your skiza tune, dial star 811 star 961 hash. Star 811 star 961 hash.
Someone is stealing from us.
And their unfulfilled love.
You're going to be my next victim.
The Amazons. They are here.
Welcome back and thanks for keeping it KBC Lunchtime News. Moving on, the government is focusing on cash transfers as the most effective way of assisting households in drought-stricken counties. Devolution Cabinet Secretary Eugene Wamalwa says the program has proved effective in identifying the unique needs of each family as opposed to blanket donation of relief aid.
Devolution Cabinet Secretary Eugene Wamalwa flagged off 7 water bowsers to various parts of the county to aid families affected by drought. The CS emphasizing the need to increase cash transfers to families affected by drought for use on their unique needs.
Lakini manyumbani pesa inaenda direct kwa household zile ambazo zimetambulika, na hata siku ya leo tuna furaha ya kwamba kwa expanded hunger safety net program, na tunaomba muambatane nasi siku ya leo, mwende mjionee wenyewe. Registration is ongoing hapa Garissa. Kile tumeambia timu zetu za NDMA waweze kuharakisha hiyo registration, sababu tungependa kuona Garissa imejiunga na huu mpango. Pesa nyingi zaidi zije through the hunger safety net cash transfer program, tusaidie jamii zetu hapo.
The CS said the hunger safety net program currently being implemented would be extended to other counties of Tana River, Garissa, Samburu and Isiolo to cushion more people currently facing the alert stage of drought. The CS further toured the Lama Huran farm in Fafi, where farmers have embraced irrigation using water from Tana River towards self-sustenance, even as the government races against time to achieve food security under the Big Four Agenda Development Blueprint.
Mejionea wenyewe hapa the huge potential ya eneo hili kuchangia pakubwa agenda kuu 4 za serikali, the Big Four Agenda, hasua the food security pillar. Na nataka nishukuru sana chairman wetu na members wake ambao wameshirikiana kuzalisha vyakula mbalimbali katika eneo hili wakitumia maji ya mto Tana, na vile vile pesa ambazo wamepokea kupitia program yetu ya K-Dr. Deep.
Changamoto ambayo tuko naye, nafikiri mmeona yale ya kuona. Changamoto ile tuko naye ni mambo ya shida ya maji ya floods ya kuharibu shamba. Kuharibu shamba, kuna mimea nyingi ambayo tungepanda. Kama hizi ndizi sasa, floods ikija itakufa. Pau ni kitu ambayo ingefanya vizuri hapa, na papau ya hapa ni tamu sana. Lakini ikipata maji hata siku moja itakufa pia.
Let's now make sense of shillings and cents in business, where technology has been backed to revolutionize disaster management and should be employed to complement traditional disaster management methods. Kenya National Commission for UNESCO Deputy Secretary General Dr. James Njue says technology such as chatbot application offers warning system on disasters, therefore enhancing the safety of citizens.
Barely a week goes by without reports of disasters such as floods, fires, road accidents and buildings collapsing, among others, leaving people dead or homeless and poor. Kenya National Commission for UNESCO Deputy Secretary General Dr. James Njue says Kenya should have a candid conversation on strengthening disaster preparedness.
One of the problems that has been identified is disaster management. So at national level, it can also now be used, and then it will certainly strengthen, particularly with regard to the uptake of the technology by, say, the National Disaster Management Unit. This would be very useful.
Speaking in Kisumu, during a training on artificial intelligence chatbot for disaster risk reduction, Dr. Njue called for enhanced collaboration between government agencies, saying technology will complement traditional disaster management methods.
The application is uploaded into a mobile phone, and people are being now trained so that they can be able to communicate whenever a disaster is occurring. And when they do communicate through that app, it is picked very quickly and acted upon immediately. So it can also communicate emergencies, not just disaster. So it's a very useful package.
The chatbot application gives intelligent data on risks and allows citizens to be safe in case of disasters, as well as report the same for quick intervention.
That app is not only used for reporting disaster, it has other facilities, but it can be used very well in real-time reporting. And the package has that ability of artificial intelligence to assess, to analyze the data, and be able to tell the extent and the intensity of the disaster.
These risks have been fed into a system, processed, and appropriate responses can be triggered to be able to assist in intervention within our communities.
The application provides warning systems on disasters, therefore enhancing the safety of citizens. The training, funded by the Japanese government, brought together stakeholders in disaster management from the Western Kenya region.
Further afield, angry protest, technological hitches, and a plummeting value marked the first day of El Salvador adopting Bitcoin as a legal tender. The rollout of Bitcoin in El Salvador was far from what President Nayib Bukele would have envisaged when he began his bold experiment. Here are the details of this and other stories from across the globe.
The price of Bitcoin has crashed to its lowest in nearly a month, falling from $52,000 to under $43,000 at one point. Platforms such as Apple and Huawei weren't offering the government-backed digital wallet known as Shivo, and servers had to be pulled offline after they couldn't keep up with user registrations. Around 1,000 protesters took to the streets of San Salvador, opposing the Latin American country's adoption of Bitcoin. The government, which has even given Salvadorans $30 each of Bitcoin to encourage its adoption, says Bitcoin could save the country $400 million a year in transaction fees on funds sent from abroad. Meanwhile, the food crisis in Afghanistan may worsen as humanitarian aid is running out, while the ongoing uncertainty following the Taliban's takeover means supplies may be difficult to put in place. The World Food Programme says concerns are rising around the food shortages that Afghans have been suffering, both before and after the Taliban took control of the capital Kabul, following the withdrawal of US troops from Afghanistan. Food production in Afghanistan has declined by 40% due to drought, with the economic situation and business issues such as bank closures also posing a serious threat. WFP said there is the risk of a possible humanitarian catastrophe developing in Afghanistan. Finally, the labor union representing American airline pilots says it will begin informational picketing in coming weeks at the carriers' major hubs to protest their work schedule, fatigue, and lack of adequate accommodation over the summer. In August, a union representing Southwest airline pilots filed a similar lawsuit, challenging forced time off and other changes to working conditions imposed by the airline during the COVID-19 pandemic. Reporting for Lunchtime News, my name is Hibak Said.
Closer home, Maendeleo ya Wanawake organization has called on the Deputy President William Ruto to reach out to President Uhuru Kenyatta and work together for the sake of Kenya's interest and deliver their promises together. The organization say what the country needs now as it enters the electioneering period is peace and unity among leaders and not animosity. They said the last 4 years the country has witnessed more and more politics derailing every development plan.
We are on record, therefore, humbly calling on our Deputy President, Dr. William Ruto, to reach out to the President and talk. And we were confident, because both our leaders are Christians, that would happen. Now that it seems to have taken time, today we are lost for words, and we are the call from everybody, and Maendeleo will still put our message across. Because we are women and we value peace of our country, we therefore then once again call on our Deputy President to also reach out if he can, because the President is his boss, and we have heard him say that many times. We still think there is time.
In sports, FIFA Secretary General Ms. Fatma Samora has arrived in Kenya for a 2-day visit. Samora is accompanied on her trip to Kenya by FIFA's chief women's football officer Sarah Barman. The two are expected to grace the finals of the inaugural CAF Women's Champions League Sekafa qualifiers at the Kasarani Stadium tomorrow to witness the crowning of the region's first ever representatives to CAF Women's Champions League. The Secretary General will also hold talks with football leadership in the country. This is Samora's first visit to Kenya since her appointment to the position in 2016. Born in Senegal, Samora is the first woman and the first African to hold the position of FIFA Secretary General. And England will be looking to extend their lead on top of Group 1 when they play away to Poland in Warsaw in a World Cup qualifier match tonight. With 4 games to go, England could assure their place at the World Cup with a win tonight and also against Andorra and at home to Hungary next month if Poland takes points off Albania.
Top of Group I at the halfway stage, having maintained their 100% record with an impressive 4-0 win in Hungary before seeing off Andorra by the same scoreline at Wembley. Manager Gareth Southgate has acknowledged that a 6th straight win of the campaign would likely see his side secure progress to next year's finals in Qatar.
We have to recognise that we're in a good moment and team are playing well. A squad of players, any of whom are more than comfortable coming into the side and are playing well when they're coming into the team. But also those moments can be dangerous because if we get any sense of complacency, then we're going into a game where we'll be really challenged, and this is a big opportunity for us. We can really take a positive step towards the World Cup if we win in Warsaw.
Southgate side are currently 5 points clear at the top of the table. A victory tonight would extend England's advantage over Poland to 8 points, and assuming Albania are to win at home to San Marino. With 4 games to go, England could assure their place at the World Cup with wins away to Andorra and at home to Hungary next month if Poland takes points off of Albania. Also, Cristiano Ronaldo participated